with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, it brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining me today. Yes, it is a lovely Friday morning. I hope that your Friday is good. And of course, wherever you're joining in from and whatever time it is where you are, I hope that you've had a wonderful day, and I hope that the rest of it is good to you. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime, and welcome. We do have another wonderful book to read together today. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, if you've joined us this week, you've been able to see all the amazing books that we've read, including The Rabbit Listened. Love that one so much. And of course, we got to look at Get Up, Stand Up, also by Sidela Mali. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely appreciate you. And I hope that today you're ready for our adventure, because we do have a field trip coming up, and we are headed to Milo's Museum. And this one is by Zetta Elliott and illustrations by Purple Wong. And keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, keep tabs on this, because there's a brand new book that is coming out from Zetta Elliott and Purple Wong, and they've given us so much already, and they have another one coming out together. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for joining in, and I hope you're ready for Milo's Museum. Thank you so much indeed. And as always, let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. And I already see that Christine, Costa, Owen, and Miles, you're in already. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that indeed you enjoy the story that we have for you today. And I hope that you've had a wonderful week too. Thank you so much for being here indeed. And yes, we're coming to you from Oakland, California. Yes, the founding city of the Black Panther Party. As we continue this month to celebrate Black History Month, we look at the amazing work that has been done, that was done for all the underprivileged people, and indeed Black folks out here in Oakland and in the country in general. Thank you so much, and may we continue to create spaces that are welcoming to all, welcoming for all. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today, and I hope you're ready. I hope you enjoy this one today. Milo's Museum coming right up. But before then, let us see who is with us. Kristen Costa, like I mentioned, and of course, Miles and Owen. Thank you so much for joining in today. And you say, can't wait for today's story. Well, same here. Thank you so much indeed. Excitement all around. Thank you. Miles and Owen, good morning to you. Hugs to you. And of course, I hope that you do enjoy our book for today. Thank you so much for being here with us. Good morning to you. How are you doing? Tara, McNamara, Erin, and Clara out there in Massachusetts as well. After a snowy day yesterday, the sky is robin's egg blue. Whoa, with perfect, puffy clouds. You know what to do. You know what to do, Erin and Clara. You know what to do, Tara McNamara. Send us a picture. Send us a picture of that robin's egg blue. I can picture that right now. Thank you so much for sharing. And of course, perfect, puffy clouds. Oh, love it. Such a lovely day for books. Oh, isn't it always? Love it. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Appreciate you. And yes, I hope that we enjoy the book that we have together. And I wish you a beautiful day, a wonderful day, as beautiful as that blue robin's egg blue perfect sky that you have out there today in Massachusetts. Thank you so much for joining in. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Amanda West. Thank you for joining us out there in sunny Illinois. And of course, joining in with Sarah and Nathan. Thank you so much for joining us out there in Illinois, and you saying happy Friday. Well, happy Friday to you too, my friends. Thank you so much for joining in. Hugs to you. And yes, we have a story to enjoy together. And of course, I hope that we all have a wonderful day after this. Thank you so much for joining in. This one coming right up, Milo's Museum, written by Zetta Elliott, illustrations by Purple Wong. And that one is coming up very shortly. And also, don't forget too that we do have a wonderful book that is coming out. Marietta has a brand new book that is coming out. It's no longer March 2nd. Oh, how exciting would that have been? But it's coming out. They're keeping us waiting a little longer. May 11th. Yes, supply chain issues, as you know. Since the pandemic hit, there's been so many issues with the supply chain and so on and so. But yes, we hope that this time it does come out on the 11th of May, and excited for that. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Again, keeping tabs on this one. Thank you for being here. I'll catch you on the other side of this short break when we're back for our story for today, Milo's Museum. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, my name is Zetta Elliott, and I am the author of 40 books for kids, including Dragons in a Bag and A Place Inside of Me. You're watching Storytime with Mr. LaMotta.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back, Zetta Elliott, author of over 40 picture books and children's books, and you should check them out. And if you have not read Dragons in a Bag, please do check it out. I encourage you to. It is a wonderful one, and I think there are now 4 or 5 in that series, so do check them out. And it is set in Chicago. Beautiful book indeed. And if you are in for some magic and dragons and all that, spells, well, that's the book for you. Here we go. Milo's Museum by Zetta Elliott and Purple Wong. And a big thank you too to Zetta Elliott for allowing us to read so many of her wonderful books here on Storytime. And yes, I'm excited for this one too. Milo's Museum, written by Zetta Elliott, illustrations by Purple Wong, and published by Rosetta Press. Milo woke up feeling excited. Today, her class was going to the museum. Mommy and Daddy had to work, but Papa went along as a chaperone. Who comes with you on your field trips? When they reached the museum, Milo's teacher told the class that their tour guide was called a docent. A docent is a person who teaches us about what's inside the museum, Miss Liu explained. The docent was a white-haired woman named Anne. She led the children from room to room, stopping to tell them interesting things about certain sculptures and paintings. Yeah. When was the last time you went to a museum? Well, I'm glad you came to this one with us. Once the tour was over, Mrs. Liu gave the children some time to explore the museum on their own. Milo held her grandfather's hand as they wandered through the rooms together. She stopped in front of a giant mirror and looked at her reflection. Milo could see her classmates admiring the works of art. She liked most of the art too, but something didn't feel right. What was it? What could it be? Milo could see her classmates admiring the works of art. She liked most of the art too, but something didn't feel right. What could it be? What do you think? Milo tagged at her grandfather's hand. What are museums for, Papa? Well, he said, museums hold all the objects that people feel are valuable or important. Things from long ago and from today. Museums are full of stories, really. Does that answer your question? Milo nodded to show Papa she understood, but she still felt funny inside. Hmm. Well, museums hold all the objects that people feel are valuable or important, things from long ago and from today. Museums are full of stories, really. Does that answer your question? Milo nodded to show Papa she understood, but she still felt funny inside. When they got home, Milo sat on the front porch and watched her world go by. She waved at neighbors as they walked along the sidewalk and nodded her head to the beat when a car drove down the street blasting rap music. Milo hummed along as the ice cream truck circled the block, trailed by laughing kids clutching dollar bills. So many faces, sounds, and stories made up her world, but none of it was in the museum. Milo frowned. Hmm. So many faces, sounds, and stories made up her world, but none of it was in the museum. Milo frowned. Hmm. Feeling funky, Mama? Milo jumped up and ran to give her Aunt Vashti a hug. They sat down on the porch steps, but Milo didn't say a word until her aunt nudged her and asked, "Why so glum, chum?" "We aren't in the museum," Milo said quietly. "I want to know why." And Vashti took a deep breath and held Milo's hand in her own. "The curator decides what goes inside the museum." "What about us?" asked Milo. "Don't we get a say?" What about us indeed? Don't we get a say? "We vote with our feet," said Aunt Vashti. "We go see the exhibits that mean the most to us. Those magnificent mummies we saw last year were borrowed from another museum in Cairo." "I remember," said Milo, "but we shouldn't have to wait for a special exhibit to see ourselves in the museum." "You are right," said Aunt Vashti. She put her arm around Milo's shoulder and gave her niece a nice squeeze. "So, what are you going to do about it?" "Me?" Milo said with surprise. "What can I do?" You could tr- you could try you could try writing a letter to the curator. That's one way to do it." And Vashti suggested. "Or," Milo saw the sparkle in her aunt's brown eyes. "Oh, what? Oh, what?" "You could make your own museum," Vashti replied. Then she kissed the top of Milo's head and went inside. Milo sat on the porch steps and thought about what Papa had said. Museums hold all the things that people feel are valuable or important. Milo dashed upstairs to her bedroom. She took out her journal and made a list. Then she went downstairs and set the table for dinner. Why are you giggling?" Mommy asked. "Did you have fun at the museum today?" asked Daddy. Milo nodded, but did not say a word. Aunt Vashti winked at her, and Milo winked back. Busy, busy. The next day, Milo took her suitcase out of the closet. She carefully packed her items inside and went out to the backyard. Running away from home? Nana teased from the porch. Wait and see, said Milo. Milo put her suitcase across the grass and stopped at her playhouse. What should she do first? Milo thought about the class trip the day before. She took off her book bag and pulled out her journal. With a purple marker, she wrote, Milo's Museum. Milo tore the sheet of paper out of her journal and taped it above her playhouse. When that was done, Milo unzipped her suitcase. Her playhouse didn't have any glass cases or velvet ropes, but Milo set up her exhibit as best she could. When she was ready to give her first tour, Milo asked everyone in her family to come outside. Welcome to my museum, she told them with a proud smile. I am Milo, your curator and docent. You are allowed to touch things in my museum, she said. Just be careful. Ah. You are allowed to touch things in my museum. Just be careful. Welcome to Milo's Museum. I am the curator and docent. Nana and Papa were the first to take Milo's tour. These baby booties were knitted by my great-grandma Sally, said Milo. She was born down south where it's warm. But it gets cold here in Philly, so she needed some mittens too. Papa picked up the red leather box. Tell me about this, he said, even though he already knew the story. That belongs to my great-great-grandpa Jack, Milo told him. He fought in France during World War I and was so brave they gave him that. They gave him that medal. Wow. It's called the Croix de Guerre. Milo wasn't sure she said that right, so she added, that means Cross of War. Wow. Milo's parents came in next. She handed a framed photograph to her mother and said, This is a picture that was taken at last summer's block party. You and Daddy slow danced in the middle of the street. Milo giggled and held out her arm. I still have one of the bracelets we made on Nessa's stoop. Then she turned to her father. This is a statue of Isis that I got at the other museum. She was a goddess in Egypt a long time ago. Aunt Vashti says Isis looks a bit like me. Daddy kissed Milo's cheek and said, Auntie's right. Aunt Vashti came in last. Milo held up a carved Christmas tree ornament. My Uncle Rod sent this from Germany, she explained. Milo pointed to the brown-skinned man wearing a jeweled crown. That's Balthazar, one of the three kings. Aunt Vashti nodded before pointing at something else on the wall. What's that? She asked. This is the jersey I wear when I play softball, Milo told her. My team has never won a trophy, but we still play hard and have fun. Aunt Vashti gave Milo a hug. Your museum is wonderful, she said. It is indeed a wonderful museum, isn't it? Your museum is wonderful, she said. By the time Milo finished giving a tour to everyone in her family, several of her neighbors had come into the yard. Two of her classmates were already standing in line, eager to see Milo's exhibit. It's so cool that we have a museum right in our neighborhood, Mallory exclaimed. I want to open my own museum too, said Hector. Why don't you two add something to the collection? Milo suggested. That way, our museum will be a mirror of the whole community. Hector and Mallory agreed. Milo looked at all the friends, family members, and neighbors in her yard. Then she took out her purple marker and made a new sign, the People's Museum. And that is the end of our story. But just one line again to read. There are a few words actually. It says, "Why don't you two add things to the collection?" Milo suggested. "That way, our museum will be a mirror for the whole community." Yes, may all spaces be a mirror for the whole community. Spaces that welcome everybody. Good job to Milo and indeed all those around her that supported her with this. The People's Museum. Milo's Museum. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be back after this short break. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zetta Elliott, and I am the author of 40 books for kids, including Dragons in a Bag and A Place Inside of Me. You're watching Storytime with Mr. Lamata.
Oh, yes. Welcome back indeed. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you joining in. And I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that we learned something. I hope that we were inspired to indeed to create spaces that are welcoming to everybody. Milo's Museum. This one written by Dr. Zetta Elliott and illustrations by Purple Wong. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. And as you've heard from Dr. Zetta Elliott, over 40 books for children, 40 books for children, and amazing books indeed, including the one we just read, Milo's Museum. Or is it the People's Museum? Thank you so much for joining in, friends, and I hope that you enjoyed that one, and I hope that indeed we see you for many, many more story times to come. And remember too that March 2nd, coming up very shortly, is World Read Aloud Day, and we do that together all the time. So indeed we'll be celebrating that as it comes along. But to this month too, we continue to celebrate Black History Month. Thank you indeed for allowing communities that have love for everybody, love for each other, that show compassion for each other, and that try to learn about each other, and so we can indeed have the best communities. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. I'm glad you were here. Let us see one more time who was with us before we go away. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining in. Kristen, Costa, Miles, and Owen. And I hope that you enjoyed today's story. I hope you enjoyed the tour in Milo's Museum. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely appreciate you. I hope that you have a wonderful day. I hope that you have a wonderful day indeed. Yes, please do. Please do. Let me know if you're in this part of the world. And of course, when I'm in your part of town, I will absolutely let you know. And yes, there's things in the works. Who knows? We might be there sooner than we think. Thank you so much. I love that. Thank you, Miles. One day we shall meet. Thank you so much. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. Oh, that makes me happy. Good morning to you one more time. Clara and Erin out in Massachusetts as well. Beautiful, beautiful description of Massachusetts today. I love it. Thank you for that mental image that you just created. Thank you. The sky is robin's egg blue with perfect puffy clouds. Love it. Thank you so much for joining in. And you say, such a lovely day for books. Yes, always a lovely day for books. Thank you so much for joining in. And I'm glad that we were here together. Clara and Erin, and of course, Tara McNamara as well. And I must mention too that Tara and Erin, we did read, thanks to you and your reminder, and of course, sending us this copy. We did read The Rabbit Lesson. Thank you for sending it. And you know what? Thank you for signing it too. I really appreciate the note in the back, and of course, too, your autographs on the back. I love it. Thank you so much. This one sits in a very treasured spot in this house. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. And Amanda West, thank you for joining in. You and Sarah and Nathan, thank you for joining us out there in Illinois. And you say, happy Friday, everybody. Well, happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to you, friends. And I will see you again on Monday when we're back for more story time. And we do have a wonderful lineup coming up. I just say, please keep an eye out, keep an ear out on the Storytime platforms and see what's coming. From Oakland, from the founding city of the Black Panther Party, we have been doing Storytime today. This has been our Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad that we were here together. Yes, appreciate every minute, appreciate every moment that we spend together. And yes, Milo's Museum was here with us today. Thank you so much. And of course, too, we have Marietta, brand new book coming out May 11th, 2023. Do keep an eye out for that one. Thank you indeed for being here, friends. Absolutely appreciate you. This has been Storytime for today. This has been Storytime for this week. This has been Storytime on this wonderful Friday morning. Much love to you. I will see you again on Monday. Please take care of yourselves. Please remember to self-care is important. Check in on your loved ones. A short call, a short hello can go a long way. Thank you so much for being here. And may all the spaces represent you. May you see yourself in every space that you go. May you feel welcome. And may we play a part in creating spaces that are welcoming to everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. Much love from me. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all reading? We just can't wait to be hearing